So things got a little weird with this video. I've been doing my Legend Comp Round 2 videos lately and wanted this third and last one to be like the last two, but unfortunately the recording didn't really go that well. I mean, in terms of the races, they were fine, but it was mainly just my commentary or lack thereof. See, at this point, I was very tired from the previous recordings, and I also just wasn't in a very good mood because Legend Comp was being Legend Comp, leading to a very quiet and not very fun set of races, so I've kinda just been sitting here thinking of how to go about this. And I thought that I'd just talk about my thoughts on this round of Legend Competition while having my races go on in the background, most likely just my last two races depending on how much I yap. So all in all, what do I think of round 2 of Legend Competition? It's been a series of positives and negatives, to be honest. While the limitation of one slot gadgets allows for a new and refreshing way to play online, it also highlights a lot of the game's faults. You all know at this point that I'm talking about item balancing. The amount of attack items and how greatly they can impact your race has been a massive talking point for Crossworlds ever since the very first network test, and while I do think that at the time a lot of those complaints were made by people who had no idea how to properly defend against items, I also think that those complaints were clearly still valid, as it's still a problem to this day, just not as egregious as people were originally making it out to be. Rocket Punch, the green boxing glove, makes you lose 50 rings and slows you down a little too much for my liking for how common of an item it is. I also find it kind of funny that the red boxing glove is called the homing punch, but despite that, the regular green punching glove can also home in on racers, even if it's a lot more prone to messing up. That's still really dumb. But yeah, I have much more of a problem with the rocket punch as opposed to items like the monster truck, which in the early days of Crossworlds got a lot of flack for being an item that was supposedly too good or unbalanced, even though I actually think it's it's a fine item. In fact, I think it's kind of not even like one of the better items in the game, actually. I mean, still useful, but you know, you'd rather want like a drill, or to be honest, in some parts of the track, even like a laser. I'm getting off track. So with items being a problem, front running essentially requires that you get really lucky with defense item pulls, which wouldn't be such a problem if there weren't so many things to defend against in the first place. You have items like the slime, the weights, King Boom Boo, homing items like the slicer, homing punch, and the rocket punch, and while you'll have races that are fairly calm in standard world match, in Legend Competition, it's anything but peaceful, pretty much making front running an unviable strategy, leading to the prevailing strategy of round 2, bagging. Bagging was incredibly powerful in round 2, especially combined with the main meta that was being used, which was the slipstream meta. Slap on slipstream bounty and mini ring boost and you'll be able to catch up with everyone in front of you in no time. Meaning that if you stay in the back for powerful items, hold on to them the best you can during lap 2 while steadily moving up in positions, and then using your items in the best, most opportune spots in lap 3, you essentially just win. And if you don't win, you'll at least be in top 6, which in Legend Competition is pretty much what you're aiming for. And while yes, bagging doesn't always work out, it's still the best strategy to go into races with. Put on a Wisp Chance Up gadget, stay in 9th to 12th place for a drill, laser, triple boost, or monster truck, and carry them the best you can for the last lap and you're good. Sorry for the potential spoiler if it isn't up yet, but that's pretty much how I won my last race to get into Emerald. That's how I was winning most of my races once I wised up to the strat. And while it was actually pretty fun to pull off successfully, I also can't say that I enjoyed it more than I would just front running. If you watched the previous two videos, you'd know that at many points I'd be lamenting the loss of ultimate charge, and while I know that may ruffle some feathers, here's my personal reasoning for it. I really like front running. I really enjoy the thrill of constantly being first, with the only thing keeping me from losing that position being my ability to pop level 4s while still maintaining good driving lines. That was especially the case with Legend Comp Round 1, and I know that round in particular radicalized a lot of people against ultimate charge, and while I get it, I've gotta say I vastly preferred that comp to this one. While this comp felt pretty luck-based with bagging being the premier strat, round 1 felt like you had to play perfectly in order to get a good position. Since everyone was invincible most of the time, that meant that whoever drove the best was usually the person who won, making your wins feel a lot more deserved and just feel really good. At least that was the case for me anyway. If you don't like the ultimate charge playstyle, then I doubt you had much fun with that round, but in my opinion, round 1 was much more fun and engaging than round 2 was. Bagging was effectively worthless in round 1, but became the main strategy in round 2. And again, while bagging can be fun to pull off, I also don't want to have to do it in every race. And I know there will be people who will say, then just don't bag, but how can I not when all the top players I'm racing against are doing just that? I had a whole exaggerated rant about it in my second video. My favorite races in round 2 were the ones where I got to front run and won by doing so. It didn't happen very often, but when it did, I felt really good about it. But most races came down to getting powerful items and using them in lap 3 to get into top spots, which kinda got boring, which is part of the reason why this recording session went so terribly. I was annoyed at losing a ton of points when I was almost at Emerald rank. I was tired from recording 3 videos before that, the third lost episode being where I lost a lot of my points. Also, yeah, fun fact, I guess that video is also lost media now, because while I do have the recording from that video, I don't have the audio for it, so that's just never going to see the light of day, I guess. Anyways, I'm kind of just yapping right now, so let me get back on track and conclude this. Essentially, Legend Competition Round 2 was a fun shakeup in Crossworlds. A lot of the gadgets that people liked using were now unusable, leading to a good day or two of experimentation from the community until an eventual meta was found, which, sorry to break it to some of you, there will always be a meta in these games. But in exchange for the removal of a lot of those gadgets, bagging became the go-to strategy for top players. Hell, even lower ranking players were starting to catch on towards the end, I feel. So while I did find round 2 to be good fun at points, it was a little frustrating to see luck and bagging playing such a big role in your ability to win, and towards the end, it just kinda became boring. I really hope round 3 is able to strike a good balance, as I feel like between the 2 rounds we've gotten, it's either been in favor of playing perfectly or die, or bag and or get lucky. I think that's everything I really wanted to say about Legend Competition this time around. Despite everything, I had a lot of fun making those videos for round 2, and I'm glad you guys seemed to enjoy them. Pretty sure that the second video has reached 1K views, which is incredible. Thank you all so much. In terms of future videos though, I'm really hoping to get a scripted video or 2 out at some point, and I've got plans to make some kind of video about the Tangle and Whisper Festival, and that video is looking to be a pretty big project. So I'll let you guys know what's going on with that video in due time. I'm pretty excited about the idea. Oh, also, I'm still working on the Black Knight video if any of you are still interested in that. While this channel has mainly been a Crossworlds channel, I really just want to make videos on everything Sonic, so I hope you guys are down for that. Hoping to get that video out around the time of its 17th anniversary. Would have come out sooner, but battling the perfectionist inside me has been a pain. Anyways, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, all that generic YouTuber stuff, and I'll see you next time. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I'm done. I'm done.